Hello everyone, my name is Bogdan from InstaDoodle, and today we're going to start a 3-part series where we're going to dive into how to create our very own project with InstaDoodle alone. In this series, we'll provide you with a step-by-step guide on how to do everything from scratch until the finished project. So make sure to tune in for all 3 parts. In this project, Maria, our resident chef, is going to show us how to cook spaghetti bolognese, and we're going to go through the entire process together in this video series. So let's begin by generating our main character, Maria. So let's go into Generate with AI, select Element, and then go to Color Caricature, where we can now select a prompt. Now this is a very important part. I'm going to use the following prompt. A female chef with red hair, brown eyes. She holds a wooden spoon in her hand, wearing a large chef's hat, an apron with the word Olira written on it. She has a slight smile. Now we're just gonna set it over here, and now we need a background. So let's go back into Generate with AI and select the background this time, and I'll use the Color Doodle option. And I'll use the prompt, a kitchen with very faded and watered down colors. I like that first one, so let's just add it to our library and then add it to the slide. Position it right here, and then in layers we can actually move it underneath Maria, our female chef. Now I want a speech bubble to pop up. So in order to do that, we need to go into Doodles and select Props, and I'll go with this one, flip it horizontally, and then I'll add this font right here and select Welcome to my kitchen. I'll actually make the kitchen below and make it a bit larger. And as you can see, we have the slide duration of 12.9 seconds. So let's generate a voiceover for this. The voiceover I want is, "Hi, I'm Maria, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making delicious spaghetti bolognese, and I'll walk you through every step of the process." And now we have to select the voice that we want, in this case Sophie, and we'll hit generate and then add it to slide. As you can see, our voiceover is about 8 seconds long, and our slide duration is about 13 seconds long. So we need to alter the animation speed and end delay of each element on our project in order to make it a bit more fused together. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to select the background, and we'll set it to a slide animation, and we'll set the animation speed to 1 and give it a 1-second end delay after it's slid onto the screen. Next is our main character Maria, which I want to be on draw animation, and we'll give it a 2.5 seconds animation speed and no end delay in this case. And immediately after, we'll have the speech bubble appear, and we'll do a fade animation for it, 1-second animation speed. And for the text, I'll use the font that I chose and use the handwrite animation. And this is a very big upgrade from the draw animation for text elements only. And I'll give it the animation speed of 1. And also an end delay of 1, so that the screen rests for a second before we move on to the next slide when playing the video. So after all the modifications that we've made, the slide duration is now 7.5 seconds, but there's one thing that I want to change, which is the transition type of the slide, and I want to put it to wipe, which will set the slide duration to 9 seconds, which is perfect for our needs. And now before we move on, I also want to select the hand for my project. So if I go up to project and select the hands category, we'll have a list of all the hands that we have available. And I think I'll go with number 2, this one, perfect. Now, as you can see, the slide duration is 9 seconds and the voiceover duration is about 8 seconds, so we're perfectly balanced. So let's now create slide number 2. And here, the first thing we want to do is again generate our main character, which is Maria. And now we need a prompt. So what I'm going to use is a female chef with red hair, brown eyes, wearing a large chef's hat. She's dressed in a white short-sleeve shirt with an apron with the word Olira written on it. Both hands are resting on her hips. She has a slight smile. And now we can choose which ones. I'll take these and this just in case. And now that we have them in the library, I'll go with this one. Yeah, this is the one I think I like the most. I'll set it over here to the left. So now I want a cutting board. So for that, I'm going to use the prompt, a wooden cutting board, smooth and clean, placed on a kitchen table with a natural wood finish. Perfect, and this one's the one we want. Took a few tries, but we got there. And now let's generate some veggies. The prompts that I used for this is light brown onion, very healthy looking, 2 garlic cloves, a very healthy looking carrot, and bottle of tomato paste with the text tomato paste written on it. And it generated all of these that you've seen added to the slide now. Now my carrot has a little bit of a problem. As you can see, it has those white spots over there. So I'm going to go into the doodle editor and just remove them with the transparent fill option, just like this. Perfect. And now I'll hit apply changes and my carrot is now good to go. And now I want some text with some arrows that point over to our vegetables. The first one is going to be onion. The second one is going to be garlic, and then carrot. And then I also had 250 milliliters as text. And we'll add some arrows. This one should do, pointing to our carrot. We'll also use this arrow to point to our garlic. Use it again for the onion as well. And then we just need one for our tomato sauce. This one should be perfect. So now let's also add a voiceover to our new slide. The voiceover is going to be, for starters, we'll begin by prepping 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 carrot, and 250 milliliters of tomato sauce. These ingredients will form the base of our bolognese sauce, adding flavor and depth to the dish. And now all we have to do is add it to the slide. So now we can see that our voiceover is about 13 seconds, but our slide is about 30 seconds. So we need to play around with the animations a little bit. So first thing, our main character, let's set her to about 2 seconds animation and we'll leave it to draw. When it comes to the cutting board, I'll have it on a fade animation with a 1 second animation. And then we go to the tomato paste, we'll have it 1.1, oddly specific, I know, but I'm kind of doing the math in my head. And then we'll have it on a fade animation. 1 second is okay. And then we'll also have the rest of the veggies on 1.1. We won't add an end delay yet. We'll also make the garlic 1.1. And then we will have the onion at 1.1. Fade animation. We also want to look at the order of things because it's also which one is being drawn first. The bottommost elements will be drawn first, while the ones up top will be drawn last. So what I want now is I want to make my onion to be the first veggie that's being drawn, so I'll move it accordingly. And then I want the garlic, so I'll move that right above it, and then the carrot right above that, and then the tomato sauce right above that. So afterwards, we have the text and the arrows left. Now what I want is the text for the veggie to appear and then the arrow pointing towards it to appear immediately afterwards. So I'm going to have the carrot and its arrow above the carrot element. And then we'll have the garlic text with its arrow afterwards right above it. And then the onion text with its arrow right above it. And then 250 along with the curved arrow. And now we have my ordered exactly how I want it. Okay, so now that we have the timing done, I'm just going to speed through putting the animations for the carrot and maybe modifying the size a little bit here and there. And we'll set the animation type to handwrite for the text elements. And I'll set the arrows to about 0.5 animation speed. It should be good, just to make sure that the slide duration isn't too long so it fits well with our voiceover. Now remember to add a end delay to the last element in your slide that's being drawn. And after that, we can set the transition type to wipe. And as you can see, there's still a little bit of discrepancy here. So I'm just going to modify a little bit more. It seems like my math was not that good. And now we have the perfect slide duration. And now for our next slide, when we generate Maria, I'm just going to paste half the text that we've been using for the prompts previously. So a female chef with red hair, brown eyes, wearing a large chef's hat. She's dressed in a white short sleeve shirt with an apron and the word Olira written on it. And I'll add to this, one hand is resting on her hip while the other is pointing to the side. And now let's generate the ground meat. I'll use the prompt, a bowl of finely ground meat, smooth and uniform in texture. And I'll take this one because it's exactly what I wanted. And now let's add some text elements. I'll add the 500 grams and make it red. And then we'll add another one of ground meat. And now we need a voiceover. Now the voiceover is going to be, next we'll prepare 500 grams of mixed beef and pork meat. This combination gives the sauce a perfect balance of flavor and texture, making the bolognese rich and hearty. Perfect. And now we just have to make the animations, set this to handwrite, the text to handwrite, and make sure to add an end delay to the last element being drawn. Also add an arrow to point to our ground meat, and that's perfect. Well, don't forget to set the transition to wipe, and we are good to go. And with that, that's for the first part of our video complete. Thank you very much for listening, and see you in part 2.